This is an AI avatar of Lesix founder Rob Lee. Script produced using a custom-trained AI employee in Claude. Video produced using HeyGen. Now, let's begin. Here's a question that might make you uncomfortable. When was the last time you honestly evaluated the strength of your relationships in real estate? And I'm not talking about counting closed transactions. I'm talking about measuring the depth of trust, the quality of connections, and the genuine influence you have in your community. Most agents get caught in a numbers trap. They count deals closed, commission earned, listings taken, but those are lagging indicators. They tell you what already happened, not what's going to happen. The agents who thrive long term, they measure relationship strength differently. Today, we're going to explore how to evaluate your community connection metrics beyond transactions. You'll learn 5 key areas to measure, practical systems to track what matters, and real examples of agents who transformed their businesses by focusing on relationship depth instead of just deal volume. Because here's the truth. Transactions are the outcome. Relationships are the engine. Let's start with something most agents get wrong. They measure success by how many deals they closed this month, but that's like judging a tree by how much fruit it produced without looking at the health of the roots. Strong relationships create sustainable business. Weak relationships create feast or famine cycles. So how do you measure relationship quality? First, track meaningful interactions, not just phone calls about contracts. I'm talking about coffee meetings where no business was discussed, social media conversations that had nothing to do with real estate, community events where you showed up just to support someone. These interactions build what I call relationship capital. Second, measure repeat client relationships differently. Don't just count how many clients came back, ask why they came back. Was it convenience, or was it because they genuinely trust your judgment and value your relationship? Create a simple scoring system. Rate relationships on 3 dimensions: frequency of non-business contact, depth of personal connection, and willingness to refer without being asked. The agents who master this, they stop chasing new leads because their existing relationships generate consistent business. Think about it this way. Would you rather have 100 acquaintances who might remember your name, or 25 people who would recommend you without hesitation? Quality always beats quantity in relationship-based businesses. Now let's talk about something that separates good agents from great ones: community presence. And I don't mean having your face on bus benches. I mean genuine community involvement that positions you as a local authority. Here's how to measure this effectively. Track your visibility at community events, not as a vendor with a table and brochures, but as a participant, someone who shows up to support the community, not just to market to it. Monitor brand recognition through organic mentions. Are people talking about you on local social media groups? Do they mention you in conversations about real estate, even when you're not in the room? This is what I call top-of-mind awareness, and it's incredibly valuable. Use social listening tools to monitor your reputation. Set up Google alerts for your name. Check what people are saying on local Facebook groups and neighborhood apps. But here's the key. Track the quality of mentions, not just the quantity. One person saying, "Sarah really knows this market," is worth more than 10 generic reviews. Community authority isn't built through advertising. It's built through consistent value and genuine care for the place where you work. The agents who understand this, they become the go-to resource for anything real estate related in their community. Let's shift to the digital side, because most of your relationships now have an online component. But here's where agents make a mistake. They focus on vanity metrics, follower counts, post likes. These numbers feel good, but they don't necessarily indicate relationship strength. Instead, analyze engagement rates, not just follower counts. Are people actually engaging with your content? Are they sharing it with their friends? Are they commenting with genuine questions and responses? Look at your email open rates and response rates. This is a direct indicator of relationship strength. If people consistently open your emails and respond to them, that's trust. Track website traffic from referral sources and repeat visitors. When someone bookmarks your website and comes back regularly, that's relationship strength. They see you as a resource, not just a service provider. Here's a practical tip. Segment your digital contacts by engagement level. High engagement equals strong relationship. Low engagement means you need to work on that connection. And pay attention to the timing of digital interactions. Do people respond quickly to your messages? Do they initiate conversations with you? These are strong indicators of relationship health. The goal isn't to have thousands of followers. It's to have hundreds of people who actually know, like, and trust you. This might be the most important measurement you're not doing, regularly assessing the health of your sphere of influence. Your sphere isn't just a database. It's a living network of relationships that either grows stronger or weaker over time. Here's how to do a proper sphere health check. First, assess your network's responsiveness. When you reach out to people in your sphere, how quickly do they respond? Do they seem genuinely happy to hear from you, or does it feel like you're interrupting them? This tells you everything about the strength of that relationship. Second, track how often past clients reach out for advice that has nothing to do with buying or selling. This is gold. When someone calls you to ask about contractors, schools, or local services, they see you as a trusted advisor, not just their former agent. Third, measure your top-of-mind awareness through informal surveys. Occasionally, ask your sphere, who would you recommend if someone asked you about a real estate agent? Their response tells you exactly where you stand in their mind. Create categories for your sphere relationships. A-level relationships are people who would refer you without hesitation. B-level relationships are people who like you but might need prompting. C-level relationships need significant nurturing. The healthiest spheres have a high percentage of A-level relationships. And remember, your sphere includes everyone who might influence a real estate decision, not just potential buyers and sellers, but their friends, family members, attorneys, lenders, contractors, and community leaders. Finally, let's talk about measuring the return on relationship investment. This is where most agents fail because they can't see the connection between relationship building activities and business results. But here's the truth. Strong relationships provide the best ROI in real estate. The challenge is measuring it properly. Don't measure monthly, measure annually or even over multiple years. Relationship ROI compounds over time. Track the lifetime value of relationship-generated clients. Include not just their initial transaction, but repeat business and referrals they generate over years. One strong relationship might generate 5, 10, or even 20 transactions over a decade. Measure market resilience through relationship strength. During economic downturns, which agents maintain their business? The ones with strong relationships. Their clients still buy and sell because they trust that agent to guide them through difficult markets. Create a system to track referral chains. When someone refers you and their referral becomes a client, and that client eventually refers someone else, that's the multiplying effect of relationship investment. Here's a practical exercise. Calculate how much you spend on lead generation versus relationship nurturing. Most agents spend 80% on getting new leads and 20% on nurturing existing relationships. The most successful agents flip that ratio because acquiring a new relationship costs 5 to 10 times more than nurturing an existing one. Let me share a real example of how this works in practice. There's an agent who decided to organize an annual charity run for a local children's hospital, not as a marketing event, but as genuine community service. The first year, about 50 people showed up, but she didn't measure success by how many business cards she handed out. She measured success by the relationships she built and the community impact she created. The event became an annual tradition. 5 years later, over 300 people participate every year. And here's the key. Many of those participants became clients, not because she sold to them, but because they saw her character through her community involvement. She measures this differently than most agents. She tracks community trust, event participation growth, and the quality of relationships formed through service. Her business now runs almost entirely on referrals, because people don't just see her as an agent, they see her as a community leader who happens to sell real estate. Here's another approach that works. An agent implemented what he calls the 5-a-day system. Every single day, he contacts 5 people in his sphere, not to sell them anything, but to provide value. He might share a relevant market update, or information about a community event, or just check in to see how they're doing. But here's how he measures success. He tracks response rates, engagement quality, and relationship progression over time. He discovered something interesting. The people who responded positively to his value-based communications, they generated 80% of his business. Not immediately, but over time. He measures long-term ROI, not short-term transactions, and his business has become incredibly stable because he's constantly nurturing relationships before he needs them. Let's wrap this up with the key points you need to remember. First, measure meaningful interactions, not just transaction volume. Coffee meetings matter more than closing statements. Second, track community presence and genuine involvement. Authority is built through service, not advertising. Third, focus on digital engagement rates, not vanity metrics. 100 engaged followers beat 1,000 passive ones. Fourth, regularly assess your sphere of influence health. Strong relationships compound over time. Fifth, measure long-term relationship ROI, not monthly transaction counts. The best business comes from relationships you invested in years ago. Remember, transactions are the outcome. Relationships are the engine. The agents who master relationship measurement, they build businesses that thrive in any market condition because people buy from people they trust and refer people they respect. So here's what I want you to do this week. Pick one of these measurement systems and implement it. Start small. Maybe it's tracking meaningful interactions for the next 30 days, or conducting a sphere health check on your top 25 relationships. Don't try to measure everything at once. Pick one metric, track it consistently, and see what you learn about your relationship strength. Because the agents who measure relationships properly, they never have to chase business. Business comes to them. If you found this helpful, I'd love to hear how you implement these ideas in your market. And if you want more strategies like this, make sure you're following our content for practical real estate business advice. Remember, in a transaction-based business, relationships are your competitive advantage.